If you clicked on this video, you're probably in this position right here with no clients, not much capital, and you probably aren't too happy with your life. And you want to get to this point where you are chilling on the beach with time, financial, and location freedom to be able to do what you want whenever you want. And what if I told you there's actually only 4 simple steps that you need to follow in this video to get you from this point in your life right now where you aren't too happy all the way up to having the cash flow and the skills to be able to sustain your dream life. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. However, I am saying it is going to be very simple after you watch this video, because I'm going to break it down literally step by step. So if you can't make it after watching this, then I don't know what to tell you. So buckle up. It's only going to be like 9 minutes. So yeah, you can probably stay for 9 minutes. Now, nonetheless, let me explain why you haven't been seeing the success. So you are probably doing one-to-one strategies. You've probably tried cold DMs, cold emails, and other low leveraged stuff where you are essentially spending your time just to reach one person. Instead, you need to be doing one-to-many. This is where you create an asset that can reach hundreds or thousands of people. This could be a TikTok, it could be an Instagram reel, it could be a YouTube short, YouTube long, it could be a podcast, it could even be a webinar. You can get creative, it could be a blog, SEO, you get the point. But essentially, you spend your time creating one asset that can reach thousands of people, and that's how you get asymmetrical returns, meaning you put little effort in and you yield maximum results. And essentially in this asset, whatever it may be, I'm going to dive more into this in a second, so keep watching. You're going to essentially educate and build up goodwill. Goodwill is created when you solve people's problems for free. You can write that down, but essentially you're going to build up goodwill. Now what will happen is if you do this consistently, you will get people who interact with that asset. They could like it, they could maybe follow you, they could comment, they could leave a review, I don't know. But essentially that is when they become an engaged lead. And from that point, humans always want more. And if you can create that goodwill, humans are greedy, they want more. So what do? We play into that, right? We give them more. We actually create something even better than the thing that we've given them for free, and we make it free or very cheap. And that is essentially a live representation of what this image shows. It will pull clients in for your business. It will literally farm you money. And I'm not even exaggerating if you do this correctly. So from that point on, essentially you basically send that traffic to a 2-step landing page. Very simple. Just keep watching, because I'm going to actually break down the 4 steps in a second. I just need you to understand the framework of what we're going to be doing. So you take them to a 2-step landing page. You essentially tell them to fill a form out. They get the free thing, right? Very simple. Once they fill out that form, it's going to take them to a booking page. They're going to book a call and buy your stuff. You would send them the free lead magnet by email or SMS, but you essentially make them buy on the 30-minute call. Notice how it's not going to be a 2-call close or a 3-call close, because we essentially now have a middle of the funnel, and this is the best way to get clients, right? 100%, not even exaggerating. It's so simple and it works like an absolute charm. And then what you'll notice is that when you get engaged leads, you can then do targeted messages, which is one-to-one. But in this case, you're actually going to get a high reply rate. You're going to get a high booking rate, because these people already know you and they probably like and trust you. So you can then basically, ask them questions in the DMs, book them on a call, and they buy your thing. So it's very simple. You create an asset, which is one-to-many, not one-to-one. You create an asset which is one-to-many, builds up goodwill, they become an engaged lead, you message them, book them in for a call, or you basically give them another free lead magnet. Very simple. Now, let me get into the 4 steps that you need to follow. And I want you to get a notepad out or a Google Doc and actually write these 4 things down, because this can change your life, I promise you. So the first thing you need is a quantifiable offer that you can validate empirically. Empirically meaning you learn as you go. So essentially, like I was explaining above, we essentially have the bait and the front-end offer. Now, you do not need a middle and back-end offer if you are a beginner. If you aren't making minimum 30,000, 50,000 a month, I would not recommend having a middle and back-end offer. I would just recommend having the bait and the front-end offer. The bait is what we've covered up here in terms of giving them more after the free asset. And the front-end offer is your flagship offer. That's what I called it. I explained it in my last video, but your flagship offer is your main premium offer that you have made to one person at one price point. And essentially, you don't need any complex funnel. You have the bait and you have the front-end offer. Now, the beauty of this is that you bait people in by giving them the free lead magnet, and then you can essentially ask them, would you find this valuable? And then you can actually speak to your niche empirically. You can learn as you're actually doing it. So it's the best way to scale. So that is step 1, and it's very simple. Step 2, the momentum and flow formula. This is one of the most important things. Right now, you are here. you're quite literally in the Dead Sea. Now, what do I mean by that? Because obviously that's a bit of a random statement to make. Well, you see, the Dead Sea is static with no flow. Now, why is it static? Well, essentially, it only has an input from the Jordan River and no output. If you look here and you maybe turn your head, you can see that the Jordan River is flowing into the Dead Sea. But you'll notice how there's no rivers or outlets from the Dead Sea. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that the water can't go anywhere. It's only gone in from the Jordan River and no out. Now, this essentially means that the water can't go anywhere and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It must be transferred. And in this case, it just becomes static. So you watching this, you probably have no momentum. You probably have no clients and you need momentum. It is the forefront of everything. For those that have read Reality Transurfing, you'll know the importance of the pendulum is what they call it. And you need to get the pendulum swinging. But nonetheless, you need to be like the River Jordan, not the Dead Sea. The Jordan River, which is here, it is flowing and it's giving its water to the Dead Sea. Now, cash flow, as an example, is much more valuable than cash accumulation. Cash accumulation meaning that you're holding on to something. And likewise, energy flow is way more valuable than energy accumulation. It is not good to hold energy. So what does this mean for you? Well, you need to essentially give. You need to stop holding on to everything. You need to give units of value to the market. You need to lead with value. If you are like the Dead Sea and you're just holding on to everything, you're scared you're going to lose money, you're scared you're going to give away too much value, you're never going to make it work. You're going to be static and stagnant like the Dead Sea. You need to be giving like the Jordan River. If you aren't willing to give first, you will not receive anything. I want you to literally abuse the reciprocity law, meaning that when you give someone something, they are more likely to give you something back. You should have read, I think it's Robert Cialdini's Persuasion. If you haven't read that, I don't know what you're even doing, because it's like one of the first books you should probably read. But nonetheless, holding on to money and your value will make you stagnant. And it's why a lot of people get stuck at 5k per month. They are scared that they're going to lose the money that they've created. So that's really important. So as a quick recap, don't be like the Dead Sea. Don't like hold what you get. You want to constantly be giving value, giving your capital out, investing in yourself, and growing. So really important, and hopefully that brought it home for you and helps you understand. Now, the third thing that you need to do is learn digital persuasion and attention. And this is one of the biggest threats to your business. If you're doing under $1 million per year in annual recurring revenue, it's not enough people know who you are. That is quite literally the biggest threat. And we're going to solve this right now. I want you to leverage this magic trick called misdirection in your content. So like what I explained up here, you're going to be creating a one-to-many asset, right? Every single day. Now, you would only do one platform, obviously. I don't want you creating assets on multiple platforms. Just focus on one thing. But nonetheless, you want to use misdirection. Now, you're probably wondering, what on earth, Charlie, is misdirection? And it's essentially used in magic. And it gets the viewer to watch something whilst the magician is explaining his trick. And this allows him to use sleight of hand. Because if I'm like here holding my hand, you're probably watching the hand whilst I'm speaking. And what that gets you to do is be more engaged. It increases watch time. Now, platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, they pay hundreds of millions per year to keep people on their platform. They literally invest in psychologists to keep you on their platform. YouTube has an average, I think, viewed a session time of about 42 minutes, meaning that you go on YouTube, the average person spends 42 minutes. Because of how much they want you to stay on the platform, because that's how they make money. So if you can use misdirection, which means that you're just like what I'm doing right now, I'm explaining something as I'm showing you something, it keeps you engaged, right? So this allows the algorithm to absolutely love you. So it's showing plus talking, and this also subconsciously shows system proof, right? It shows the person that you want to get in front of that you know what you're talking about subconsciously. So really important, that is the use of misdirection in your content and digital persuasion, because we all know that where attention goes, money flows. So that's very important. And notice how I said flow linking to this, because you need to understand that you need momentum. So essentially, the fourth thing is unlocking the 8th wonder of the world. I believe, I can't remember who said it, I think it was Einstein. He said that the 8th wonder of the world was compound interest. Warren Buffett said that the stock market is a device for transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient, right? Because when people leave the stock market, that is when they lose. So it goes to the patient, right? So essentially, I cannot explain the power of consistency, but 4 actionable steps, if you're serious about changing your life, and more importantly, the lives around you, I dare you, and I'm going to put this in bold so you actually understand, but I dare you to do this for 100 days. And I generally don't think you can do this and not make 10K per month by day 100, or even day 60 probably. And it's the rule of 100. Hormozy talks about this and it is amazing. You're going to pick just 2 of the following. Do not do all 4. I want you to just do 2. So this could be 100 minutes a day in content creation. It could be 100 DMs per day. It could be $100 a day in ad spend. It could be 100 emails. The end goal should be 100 minutes of content creation and $100 a day in ad spend, because you essentially build the trust at scale, like what we talked about, by creating those assets. And then every engaged lead, you essentially put an ad in front of by uploading that in a CSV to Meta. So then you're basically placing your ad in front of people who have seen your content. It is overpowered. I cannot even explain it. But to start with, when you don't have the capital, you would do this and you would do this, right? So this should take you 90 minutes each. Think about that. I want you to just have 2 deep work blocks, and that's all you need to do. So 90 minutes in the morning and 90 minutes in the afternoon doing this, and just 2, right? You can pick which 2 you want, but it should be the 2 that your platform are on. But sorry, your niche that the platform is on. But essentially, this is only like 4 hours a day of work. Think about that. I'm literally getting you to do 4 hours a day of work, and I'm telling you you're going to make more than like a doctor. And it is true, because the difference between a lion and a sheep is that a sheep sort of grazes all day. It eats its grass all day. It spends 8 hours just on the farm, right? And that's not effective. You want to be a lion. You want to quite literally hunt once a day and get the food for the next 2-3 days, right? That's what a lion does. So you want to be a lion. You only want to work when you're actually doing the growth levers, meaning the things that you get the most out of for your time spent. And this essentially will allow you to become the person, because right now you are not the person to make 10K per month. Full transparency, because if you could, you would have already done it, right? So right now you're probably here. And after the 100 days, or even 60 days, you'll be here. You'll have the skills, you'll have the knowledge, and you'll have the ability and the character to be able to make money, right? Because you are taking action and because you understand these 3 other principles that we've covered about validating your offer empirically by actually doing it and offer free stuff to your niche, getting momentum by giving value, spending money because cash flow is way more valuable than cash accumulation, and then learning the skill of attention and consistency. That is the 4 things you need. And I want you to literally have that on your wall if you can. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, just drop a like, subscribe. Hopefully you learned something. And if you're interested in scaling faster, feel free to join out my community. It'll be the first link in the description if I can actually speak. And once you're inside, I'll personally send you a message. We've got 40+ hours worth of content, free go high level automations. It is properly dialed in, and there's hundreds of people crushing it that you can connect with. So I'd highly recommend joining that. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy, and I'll put some videos up here that you can watch. Yeah, have an amazing day.